Think you've got preparedness all figured out? Sure, you might be sitting in a bunker with a year's worth of food stacked to the rafters. But let me ask you this. Are you absolutely certain your plans will hold up in a real emergency? Many preppers focus heavily on some areas of preparedness while completely overlooking others. And some so-called prepper tips out there could actually leave you vulnerable when it matters most. In this video, we're exposing the top 10 preparedness myths, common mistakes that both beginners and seasoned preppers often make. And trust me, the last myth might completely change how you approach survival. So stick around. But before we dive into these myths, I want to hear from you. What's one preparedness tip you swear by? Or maybe a mistake you've learned the hard way? Drop it in the comments below and share it with the community. And while you're here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Only 9% of you watching are subscribed, and your support helps us grow and bring more valuable content your way. Myth number 10. You need a bunker to survive. Some people believe that a hidden underground fortress is the ultimate safety net, but the reality is far more complicated. Building and maintaining a bunker can be tremendously expensive, requiring specialized ventilation, water, and waste systems. And despite appearances, bunkers aren't invulnerable. If someone is determined to get inside, they can target weak spots like entry hatches or simply flood the ventilation system to force you out. Worse yet, natural flooding poses its own hazard. Heavy rains or rising groundwater can turn your bunker into a watery trap. Instead of pouring all your resources into a single underground hideaway, focus on a layered preparedness plan. Fortify your home by reinforcing doors and windows, keep a well-organized supply of food and water, and establish both shelter-in-place and evacuation protocols. Additionally, have a reliable bug-out location, whether it's a friend's rural property, a rented cabin, or a stocked campsite, to ensure you can leave safely if home becomes untenable. This balanced approach covers short-term crises like fires or power outages, as well as more severe threats without giving you a false sense of security. Myth number 9. Prepping is only for doomsday scenarios. Many people assume that preppers are solely focused on catastrophic, end-of-the-world events, but real-life emergencies are far more common and often far less dramatic. Storms can knock out power for days. Earthquakes can rattle your home unexpectedly, and even a sudden job loss can create a financial crisis that affects your ability to buy groceries or pay bills. By preparing for the everyday challenges first, like keeping extra food and water on hand or having a small emergency fund, you're already building the foundation for larger disasters. Prepping doesn't have to mean going off-grid or stockpiling years of supplies in an underground bunker. It can be as simple as having a well-thought-out plan for common emergencies and gradually expanding your readiness over time. This practical approach benefits everyone, from busy families to solo urban dwellers, ensuring that when life throws you a curveball, you're not caught off guard. Myth number 8. Canned food lasts forever. It's easy to think canned goods offer a permanent safety net. While many cans remain safe to eat beyond their printed best buy dates, their quality can degrade over time, especially if stored in hot or humid environments. Additionally, avoid storing any cans that show dents, rust, leakage, or bulging, as these signs indicate the product could be unsafe. To keep your canned food reliable, store it in a cool, dry place and use a first-in, first-out system. When new cans come in, use the oldest ones first. After opening a can, inspect its contents closely and discard anything that seems off in color, smell, or appearance. With proper rotation and storage, your canned goods can remain both safe and satisfying when you need them most. Myth number 7. Bugging in is always the best option. Many preppers default to staying home because it feels safer, more comfortable, and it's where you already have your supplies and security measures in place. Indeed, bugging in can be a wise choice for many emergencies. However, there are situations where remaining at home becomes dangerous or even life-threatening. For example, a fast-moving wildfire, sudden flash flooding, or widespread social unrest could quickly turn your neighborhood unsafe. Even the best defenses might not hold up against flames or rising water. That's why having a backup plan, bugging out, is crucial. Keep a go bag ready, identify safe evacuation routes, and know exactly where you can find shelter if your home becomes compromised. We recently published a video on how to choose between bugging in and bugging out, breaking down the risks and benefits of each approach. If you're unsure which plan best fits your situation, be sure to check it out. Ultimately, true preparedness is about flexibility. While bugging in works for many scenarios, it's not a one-size-fits-all solution. Stay adaptable and be ready to evacuate if the circumstances demand it. Myth number 6. You have to spend a fortune to prepare. It's a common belief that being ready for emergencies means buying premium freeze-dried foods, top-of-the-line gear, and expensive gadgets. While many people say, "I don't have the money to prep," that doesn't have to be the case. Even though there's no shortage of pricey survival items on the market, you can build a solid preparedness foundation by starting small and focusing on essentials like water storage, non-perishable foods, and a basic first aid kit. No one goes from zero to hero overnight. Being prepared is not a race, it's a marathon. Rather than trying to buy everything at once, remember that the best preparedness plan is one you can afford to maintain consistently, so it's smarter to start small and expand as your budget allows. We recently published a video all about prepping on a budget, packed with practical tips and strategies to help you stay ready without emptying your wallet. If you're worried that preparedness is too expensive, be sure to check it out. After all, the best plan is one you can keep up over the long haul, no matter the size of your budget. Myth number 5. I can improvise without a plan. Many people assume they'll magically rise to the occasion in a crisis, that they'll figure things out on the fly. While adaptability is important, a high-stress situation can fog your judgment and lead to costly mistakes. When you're panicked, you're more likely to forget essential items, overlook critical details, or make poor decisions that put you at even greater risk. Instead, create and practice concrete plans for likely scenarios: fires, floods, storms, or other localized emergencies. If you have family or roommates, make sure everyone knows evacuation routes, communication methods, like texting versus calling, and designated meeting points if you get separated. Run quick drills every few months so these steps become second nature. By pairing adaptability with a solid plan, you'll be much better prepared for whatever life throws at you. Myth number 4. It's all about stockpiling gear. It's easy to believe that having shelves full of gadgets and supplies is the key to surviving any crisis. In reality, gear alone won't save you. Electronic devices can fail, run out of power, or become obsolete, and even manual tools can break if they're low quality or poorly maintained. Stockpiling the latest survival gadgets might look impressive, but without hands-on knowledge or practical experience, you're essentially collecting expensive paperweights. Instead, balance your resources between gear, training, and planning. Make sure you know how to safely operate every tool you own, from water filters to camp stoves. Practice scenarios where gear might fail, like cooking over a campfire if your stove malfunctions. Learn first aid beyond basic bandaging, and practice safe water purification methods, while also developing soft skills like communication and situational awareness. Conduct regular drills, such as spending a weekend without electricity or running water, to pinpoint gaps in your survival plan. By combining practical knowledge with dependable equipment, you create a resilient system that can adapt to failures and unexpected twists, truly setting you apart from collectors of gear and showing you're genuinely prepared for a crisis. Myth number 3. I'm safe because nothing ever happens. It's easy to get complacent when you've never faced a serious emergency. You might think, I've been fine so far, and I've heard all this SHTF talk for years, but nothing happened. Yet disasters don't operate on your schedule, and past luck is no guarantee of future safety. A single unexpected event can turn your life upside down, leaving you scrambling for both supplies and a plan. Instead of waiting until you're forced to react, identify the specific risks in your area, like hurricanes, earthquakes, or wildfires, and prepare accordingly. Stock up on extra food, water, and essential medications, and map out evacuation routes. Even a small emergency fund can protect you from sudden financial hits. Ultimately, preparedness isn't about expecting the worst. It's about recognizing that the unexpected does happen and being ready when it does. Myth number 2. I can always live off the land if things get really bad. Some believe that if modern conveniences vanish, they'll simply head into the wilderness, hunt or forage for food, and survive indefinitely. While this vision sounds romantic, it overlooks a crucial reality. Most people can't even start a fire without matches or a lighter. let alone successfully hunt or identify safe, edible plants. Even seasoned outdoors enthusiasts acknowledge that long-term wilderness survival is demanding, requiring advanced bushcraft skills, in-depth knowledge of local flora and fauna, and extensive hands-on practice. One wrong move, such as misidentifying a poisonous plant or sustaining an injury, can be devastating without immediate medical help. Rather than banking on an idealized wilderness plan, learn to grow your own food, whether it's a small backyard garden or a larger plot, and practice food preservation. If you have the space, explore basic animal husbandry for a reliable source of protein. This approach provides a steadier, year-round food supply than pinning all your hopes on finding wild edibles or big game. Ultimately, a balanced mix of stored supplies, homegrown foods, and practical survival skills is far more dependable than heading into the wild with just a backpack and high hopes. This is the final myth we promised to debunk at the beginning of this video. Often, I hear people say, "I've got all the gear I need, enough food and water to last my family and me for a long time, and I can handle things on my own." But here's the truth. No one can do it all alone in a major crisis. Have you ever heard the saying, 3 is 2, 2 is 1, and 1 is none? Emergencies often bring unexpected challenges, and having a strong support system can make all the difference. Whether it's sharing resources, exchanging skills, or offering emotional support during tough times, your network can be the lifeline you need when things go wrong. Think about it. Depending solely on your own supplies or knowledge can only get you so far. Being part of a community, whether it's your neighbors, friends, or an organized prepper group, offers backup, security, and additional resources you might not have. Instead of isolating yourself, focus on building a trusted network. Get to know what your neighbors or group members can contribute. Maybe someone has medical training, another is skilled at growing food, or someone else knows how to repair equipment. Practice mutual support, share knowledge, and don't be afraid to ask for help. You never know when someone else's skills or supplies will make all the difference in your survival. Now that we've debunked all 10 preparedness myths, I hope you're feeling more confident and maybe even rethinking some of your plans. Which myth surprised you the most? Drop a comment below and share this video with a friend. If you found it helpful, give it a like, hit that subscribe button, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our future videos. Remember, a major part of preparedness is having the right mindset and building a strong community around you. Stay ready, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.